President-elect Trump has announced his pick to become U.S. ambassador to Panama. This as he spends more time in his Christmas Day post focusing on his desire for the U.S. to take back control of the Panama Canal. In the same post, Trump suggests the people of Canada and Greenland would be better off if their countries became part of the United States, something that the citizens of those countries, we should note, are not asking for. CNN's Elena Trien is live in West Palm Beach, Florida, with more details. Elena, one of the claims Trump is making without presenting evidence is that Chinese soldiers are controlling the Panama Canal. I wonder, based on your conversations with Trump administration officials, is he serious about this? Is this a negotiating tactic?
I think that is the big question, and from my conversations so far, it's been unclear. I think what is clear is that Donald Trump is really trying to assert his dominance right now as really, a leading figure in the global stage, and trying to show these different world leaders that he wants to have, fair trade. He wants to make sure the U.S. isn't being taken advantage of, something he believes that the U.S. is being taken advantage of as it relates to the Panama Canal. He said explicitly that he believes U.S. vessels are not getting their fair shake out of the Panama Canal, going back to how it was U.S. made, even though Panama has controlled the canal for more than 25 years. All to say, it's really unclear why, as of now, he is so fixated on this. But it's very similar with the way that he's been responding to what we saw a couple weeks ago with his threat against Mexico and Canada to put a 25% tariff on all goods coming into the United States if they do not crack down on how they handle the border and crime and the flow of drugs into the United States. Kind of similar things we're seeing play out now, where he's trying to make it known that he means business when he is sworn in. When he becomes president, he is going to be acting in a very aggressive way. But again, it's not totally clear right now whether he's being totally serious about actually wanting the United States to take over control of Panama. And just to your point as well, Jim, about his comments as it relates to trying to buy Greenland, a Danish territory, or also trying to make Canada the 51st state of the United States. These are things that these countries are not asking for. I think it's clear. I mean, the Greenland's prime minister, who's in control of the Danish territory, has said Greenland is not for sale. Trudeau, of course, is not going to be playing ball on this idea of selling Canada to the United States. And it's still unclear exactly what Panama is expecting that Donald Trump wants out of these different threats. But again, he is trying to show that he is asserting his dominance over this. Now, I do want to read for you some of what we've heard from Panama's president, Jose Molino. He said this morning in response to these claims about Chinese soldiers operating the canal. This is what he said. Quote, he said, "There are no Chinese in the canal. It is as simple as that. Neither Chinese nor any other power is in the canal." So again, trying to make clear that pushing back on Donald Trump's claims here. Now, I do also want to just briefly talk about what Donald Trump also posted yesterday, because again, he is very much fixated on the Panama Canal right now. He announced that he is naming his pick for the ambassador to Panama, Kevin Moreno Cabrera. He is someone who is currently the Miami-Dade commissioner. He's someone who has worked on the Trump campaign before. Back in 2020, he helped run Florida's director for Donald Trump's campaign. But he also has been someone who is very much in Donald Trump's corner, who has very clearly wanted to boost Donald Trump. I think it's clear that he's going to be aligned with Trump. He's very close to the campaign. I'm told he still speaks with many of Donald Trump's advisors. So he's kind of putting someone in Donald Trump's corner on this. But again, it's unclear what Cabrera is actually going to have on his plate as it relates to Panama, whether or not Donald Trump is totally serious about this, or if this is kind of him just throwing red meat to the base with just weeks to go until Inauguration Day. Yeah. Jim?
And we should note that there is a Senate-ratified treaty from the late 1970s that transferred ownership of the Panama Canal to Panama. Elena Trien, thanks so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Erica.
Joining us now to discuss as well, someone who knows the country quite well. John Feely served as ambassador to Panama under Presidents Obama and Trump. It's good to have you with us. And it's important to remind everyone, as Jim just pointed out, there is a treaty. The canal is, in fact, under Panama's authority. When we look at this and what is being floated by the president-elect, I know you've noted this is actually a longstanding obsession of Donald Trump, something that he raised in a White House meeting with Panama's then president back in 2017 with nearly identical language. What was the reaction then?
The reaction was one that we had prepared then President Juan Carlos Varela for. I and another Trump advisor at the time had met with Varela the night before, and we basically told him, look, this is going to be unlike any meeting you've ever gone in. We had no idea that President Trump was going to raise the canal or canal fees. But what we gave him as general guidance was, don't raise any issue on the bilateral agenda. We can work that out at our level. But if he gets you in a corner and he's being very belligerent, try to change the subject. And so President Trump, in the broad bilateral, 20-odd people sitting there, raised the canal, the same issue, the same language. And President Varela very astutely listened for a few minutes. And then he said, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? How are you doing in Syria? And Donald Trump went off and handled that answer. And we didn't talk about the canal anymore.
That is quite a left turn to make, but clearly it was effective. You didn't talk about it anymore in that meeting, but how often did it come up during your time as ambassador?
Never. I have to be honest. That was the one and only time. Now, granted, I resigned from the Trump administration 6 months after that meeting, partly because of what I saw and heard in that meeting, and realized I couldn't represent him. But no, Donald Trump and the Trump administration never raised that issue again during Trump 1.0.
There's a lot of speculation about what may be behind this. Is it a negotiating tactic? Is it some sort of an opening salvo to try to get lower fees, whatever it may be? Based on your experience in the Trump administration, where do you think the ultimate goal lies with this language?
Well, I think two things. Number one, let's get something very clear, Erica. The United States is not being charged exorbitant fees. The United States doesn't have a very large shipping industry. The five major conglomerates are Danish, Maersk, they're Greek, they're Chinese. The United States doesn't do much commercial shipping through the canal to be charged those fees. The products that come through the canal do go in large part to the east coast of the United States, and the United States liquid natural gas industry along the Gulf Coast absolutely depends on that canal. But the fees are an issue of climate change. The Panama Canal saw record low waterfall and had to limit passage. That's a supply and demand issue simply for a commercial waterway.
So you're talking about supply and demand. You're talking about all the facts there, which are important when it comes to discussing any story, but it's certainly where we are now. And yet the water continues to be muddied, even just as recently as yesterday with Donald Trump's post on social media, where he said in part, Merry Christmas to all, including the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal. Panama's President Molino pushing back, noting once again there are no Chinese in the canal, saying it's as simple as that. There are concerns about China's rising power globally. This is something that has always sort of been under Donald Trump's skin. Could that maybe be guiding this decision-making or attempt at pushing a conversation?
You know, speculation is always difficult, and especially when it comes to Donald Trump. I think in the report we just heard, there may be some elements of truth in there. Trump likes to keep his adversaries and his friends on edge. He likes to be unpredictable. He considers himself a disruptive force. As president, I think, one, it bears saying, there's no way he's going to take the canal back by force, absent a second just cause, the 1989 invasion, where the United States grabbed Manuel Noriega and took him home for trial on drug trafficking charges. But I don't think that President Trump and his domestic political advisors believe that he's really got the constituency that would support another foreign war. I mean, for goodness sake, the man ran against the Biden foreign wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I don't think he's going to do another invasion. And short of another invasion, and there are no Chinese in there, as President Molino correctly stated today. Again, facts are facts, and even Donald Trump has to accept, well, he doesn't have to accept them, but the rest of the world does and knows. I don't think he's really doing anything other than positioning himself, perhaps with the threat of economic warfare and tariffs, which he very well could do, to put Panama and truly everybody else around the world on edge, worried about what he can come in with.
President Molino pushing back very strongly, not just, of course, in response to yesterday's social media post, but ever since this has come up. Before I let you go, President-elect Trump announcing Kevin Moreno Cabrera is his pick for your old job, U.S. Ambassador to Panama. Do you have any relationship with him? How do you think he is in terms of a choice for that role?
I don't have any relationship with him. And because I'm a former career ambassador, we have an unwritten rule that we don't comment on nominations until the Senate of the United States has an opportunity to do so, and the very host country. Let's keep in mind that President Trump's named nominee has not received what's called agrément, the diplomatic approval of the Molino government, for him to even proceed forward with a Senate confirmation. So I really don't have much to add there.
Well, you did actually add a lot because it's an important reminder for everyone in terms of how the process works. Ambassador John Feely, really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.